fast break time. I got bad news. I've been on the most electrifying man in sports entertainment all year, but I also have harbored a secret love for Anthony Edwards the whole time, too, and I'm ready to make that change. Ant scored 36 over the weekend.
Wow.
Most electrying man in sports scored 32, but quiet in the fourth.
Wilds.
Here's the thing, Broussard. Everybody on the planet thinks that Ja's better than Anthony Edwards. You know who doesn't think that? Anthony Edwards, and I think it matters. I think Anthony Edwards is done. Saying, I'm done with all this Ja talk. It's Anthony Edwards time. So I'm going to say this is must win, or Wolves are going to win this series. What say you, Broussard?
Wow. Well, I agree with you on Anthony Edwards. I love him. I thought it was, and as all due respect to LaMelo Ball, I thought it was a travesty that Edwards didn't win the Rookie of the Year last year, just because Melo missed so many games, all right? But that said, Wilds, I'm going to say no, it is not a must-win, but it's close. And here's the only reason I'm saying it's not a must-win. Here's the only reason I'm saying it's not a must-win. Because Minnesota is so young. They haven't been here before. I could see them, Anthony Edwards, Cat, D'Angelo Russell, just being immature if they go up 2-0 and feeling like we got this and relaxing, and next thing you know, they're in a series. Now, Patrick Beverly is their veteran leader, but he's unsteady. He's unstable, so I don't know that he should be the voice of reason.
Unstable.
So that's all I'm saying. But
that's a great
obviously
word
it's close to a must-win, but I'm going to say no. But here's the thing, Nick. I picked this series. I picked Memphis in 7. I gave Minnesota a much better chance to win than most people because this is a tough matchup for Memphis. They bring the same energy, the same youth, the same athleticism that Memphis has. They played them 2-2 in the regular season, and people forgot. They beat Memphis by 43 in the regular season game with Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane playing. They lost one by overtime. So, and Nick, last thing, you look at the high-end young talent. Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, all top 2 picks. They got more high-end young talent than Memphis does. So
they got blue
this is going to be a tough series, and I'm not surprised by that.
And they won, they being Minnesota, game 1, despite D'Angelo Russell playing terribly. Now, I don't know if you can expect Jaden McDaniels to play as well in game 2 as he did in game 1. I do think this is a must-win for Memphis, and I do think they will win it. I think that Ja versus Anthony Edwards is a real discussion moving forward. I think Ja's better, but I can't watch Ja play and not get nervous a half dozen times per game. Anthony Edwards, on the other hand, is built like a truck, and while he's explosive, he's not as reliant on plays like this as Ja is. Ja makes me nervous, but I do think he's better. I do think Memphis is better. I do think there's a bit of a kind of traditional media overreaction to one game that we're seeing here. But Wilds, I got to talk to you about something, buddy. And I'm sorry to do this on the air, but I think it's good for the show. So let me tell the audience something. Kevin Wilds knows exponentially more about television than me. I'm a radio guy by trade.
Correct.
Wilds has been in TV forever. He calls me after the show sometimes, tries to he's like, hey, Nick, remember, we need video for things. Like, there's pictures. It's not just your voice. He gives me very basic tips that are super helpful.
That's kind of rookie.
I know exponentially more about takes than you, Wilds. Let me help you with very basic things.
That's a hot take
were
there.
going to be the Ja guy. You said you were going to be the Ja guy. You soft-pedaled a Ja MVP take that you immediately retracted. Then you were like, well, Ja's not the MVP, but I've got the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies. And then Antoine elbowed you off the corner, and then you just took it. And now you're like, Grizzlies are going to lose, and I'm an Anthony Edwards guy. The hell are you doing? The most electrifying man in sports entertainment was your catchphrase. This was your team. And instead, the only consistent basketball take you've had all year is that the Magic are frisky and that they're going to get Chet. That's not a road to success. in the business, buddy. You're the jaw guy, and you're abandoning him after one game.
You have stuck with the Magic. That's true.
Well,
you have definitely you would ride or die for the Magic.
Your on-air advice. You're not the one on the panel that I listen to. I listen to Broussard, facts over feelings. And though I have a feeling that John Morant and the Grizzlies were going to play well, once I saw the games, I said the fact is Anthony Edwards might be better, and Cat is way better than Steven Adams. So I switched my picks. Facts over feelings. That's what the elder statesman of the show told me. So I doff my cap to you, Broussard. Keep up the good work. I'm learning from you, my friend. Moving on. Sixers beat the Raptors like 15 last night.
He just sunned you.
Okay.
Wasn't that close? Philly led by as many as 29 and beat at 31. Maxey playing fantastic. He had 23. Meanwhile, Warriors stay rolling. Steph had 34 points in 23 minutes off the bench. Brew, which 2-0 lead is more impressive, Warriors or Sixers?
I'm going with the Warriors. Now, look, the Sixers, I thought this might be a close series, but hey, Scotty Barnes is hurt. And I know people say, oh, he's a rookie. Scotty Barnes is the truth. He was my vote for Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Evan Mobley might get it, but it's close. But I love Barnes, but was out last night with the ankle injury. That made a difference. And James Harden is still struggling. 36% from the floor, 5 turnovers last night. So I've been more impressed by Golden State for this reason. They've reestablished themselves as a championship contender. I don't know if you guys know, but they got a new death lineup. They're calling it the 3G. Yeah. Jordan Poole has joined Clay and Steph as a bona fide, on the cusp star. He's got to do it a little bit longer, but he's averaging 29 points a game in this series. His step back, I haven't seen a step back where a guy steps back like 10 yards. His step back is ridiculous. Yeah. He is playing tremendously, and that team with those three and Wiggins and Draymond, Nick, that lineup has been unbeatable in this series. They've outscored the Nuggets by like almost 30 points in 11 minutes with that group on the floor. So I'm just so impressed by what Golden State is doing and what their potential is that I'm going to say them.
Well, and by the way, on Jordan Poole, shout out to the great writer Shea Serrano for coming up with something that's sitting right there in front of all of us, and none of us noticed it. The Warriors got a third Splash brother, and his last name is Poole. How did the NBA let this happen?
Right.
Great catch by Shea. We all should have been like, hey, careful now. But here's the reason why. Even the Warriors last night, some of the numbers I saw on Twitter, and I didn't have Dusty check these, but I trust Twitter, and Dusty, tell me if I'm wrong. They scored 70 points in 17 minutes. They said last night was the highest scoring playoff third quarter of the Kerr era. Remember the third quarters when they always were crushing people when they were winning titles. It would be close at halftime, and then the Warriors would go on that second half run. They scored 44 last night. With all that said, I actually think the Sixers have been more impressive for 3 reasons, Wilds. Reason number 1, I think the Raptors are better than the Nuggets. Now, I know the Raptors don't have the greatest passing big man ever, one of the greatest players ever, the best player in the league, but I think they're better than the Nuggets. Somehow that's the case. That's first of all. Second of all, there was real anxiety heading into this series that Philly had to win their first 2 home games because of the concern of no Tybal once they go to Toronto. And not only did they win their first 2 home games, they did it without ever having to, it was no close games. They blew them out both times. And I think it is pretty remarkable they have done this with Harden not playing well. Harden was good-ish in game 1, passing-wise. Very good passing, not good scoring. And yesterday, Harden was not good at all. And they're crushing this team. So I actually think the Sixers, because there was more pressure on them, think they're playing the better team, and they had to win their first 2, and Harden didn't play well. I think they've been more impressive, even if the Warriors are the better team.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I look at the better team. And the Warriors, we know who the Warriors are. And I like how you said the Kerr era, like it's something I read about in the book. And then in the Kerr era, like, yes, the Kerr era. There's one play that I think exemplifies this. Watch Draymond here. If we can run this on a nice little blue pub. Draymond's pass to Steph, this just shows a team that has been working together for years. Draymond's like, yeah, you're going to be over here. Here's a little shovel pass. You'll get there when you get there. I know exactly where you're going to be. And Steph's like, yup, in my shooting pocket, and I'll just drain this. And this is like exactly what the Sixers aren't. Draymond and Steph have been playing together what seems like a decade. Meanwhile, Harden showed up a few weeks ago. So the best play that exemplifies how good the Sixers are, besides Tyrese Maxey playing awesome, is Embiid like, you know what? I'll do awesome stuff by myself. And afterwards, I'll talk to Nick Nurse about his comments, too. I'll also do PR. Even though Doc is supposed to be talking to Nick Nurse, I'll also talk to Nick Nurse. So I think there's just such a collective effort, an example of brilliance from Golden State, and singular excellence from Joel.
That's fair.
So what was your answer? What was your answer, Wow?
My answer is the Warriors.
That was a nice explanation.
My answer is the Warriors. I said it earlier.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
I said it earlier. If you weren't trying to figure out how to match Nick his outfit tomorrow, you would hear it. I said Warriors. Like, you know, you're texting Nick, hey, are you wearing a blue tie tomorrow? I'll wear it too.
Just checking.
I gave you a compliment in the first part of the segment. Meantime, medal time. Donovan Mitchell packing his bags to go back to Utah and then to New York. 34 points and a loss to the Mavs. Nick, who did it better?